Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you our Week 10 fantasy football starts and sits for the Thursday night football game between the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. We're here to help you make all the right decisions on who you should have in your lineup and who you should sit and who's going to break your heart if you don't make the right decision. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right now.
Hit that drop. Hey everyone, I am Justin, that is Kyle, and this is the Fantasy Football Upside. Thank you for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. Now, hopefully the waiver wire episode that we saw yesterday was really kind to y'all. If you need a refresher, definitely check it out by clicking the link in the corner above where Kyle points. Also in the description below. But today we are hitting you with Week 10's Thursday night football start-sit matchup. And that is my Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans. Small little rant here, Kyle, real quick. I want to get this out of the way. This is the third year in a row where the Colts play their primetime game of the season on the road.
Yeah.
This is just getting ridiculous. So we just keep having them on the road. I guess for this season, it doesn't matter as much, but still, Come on, NFL.
I mean, aren't they all kind of on the road this year?
They are, but to have three in a row, come on, Meow.
Let's
go, Meow. What do you got for me, Kyle?
That's the kind of content that they came here for tonight, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, right? Go ahead and give us a like down there, guys. And if this is the kind of analysis that you like, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button as well as the bell so you're notified every time we upload this weird thing that we like to call fantasy football podcast sometimes. And you know what? We have fun with it. We've been having a lot of fun with it. We're helping people. Hopefully we're helping you win games, and hopefully we're helping you get to that championship, because we're always asking, do you need assistance? And nobody's actually figured out what that's from yet.
Come on, people.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Come on. There's a bear. There's a guy. All I know is it's illegal.
Yeah.
We're giving you all
there is
of
one
it.
thing. There's no snozberries in this scene, so that is one. Maybe
that might be what's going on. That might be why.
That might be a little hint for everybody. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we might be aging out of cool. That might be what it is. And so,
a decade ago, bro.
Hey, you know what? Age is a number. I'm holding on to my youth, and I'm pretty princess over here. I'm cool. It's all right.
Okay. Okay, sport.
All right. Anyway, guys. So. Here we are. This is Week 10. Make sure you double check the waiver wire to see what hit the waiver wire after the waivers were run. Presumably there might be some stuff out there. This is one of those weird seasons that bye weeks got shifted around. People were making plans. The plans kind of got tugged a little bit. Rug was pulled out, and now people got to make moves. There might be something on the waiver wire, and this is one of those big weeks where that may have occurred, actually. So double check. If you got any questions, feel free to put a comment below asking that question, or you can hit us up on Twitter. We've got our handles all over the place here. Let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end, Justin, and let's talk about Indianapolis at Tennessee. And you can go first here. These are your Indy boys, right?
Yep. We'll go first because once again, they're on the road.
I'm looking for the starts. Where are they?
Yeah, we have a color coded on here, and green is good. And well, I don't have any green on here, but I will.
You got one.
Oh, I do. Sorry, I forgot to scroll down a little bit. I'll get to that one. But to start off at the top, right off the top, Phillip Rivers. Talk about a Jekyll and Hyde season all season long. I am going to avoid at all costs. So, what was that little look there?
He's Jekyll and Hyde in every game. It's not a Jekyll and Hyde season. He's Jekyll and Hyde. It's usually starts out fine. He's Dr. Jekyll. And then at the end of the game, he's like, oh, here's your interception from Mr. Hyde. You know,
here you go.
Here you go.
Oprah giving away. Here you go.
It's Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber. Here you go.
You want to hold on to that one.
He's like, here's an IOU, 245,000. You want to hold on to that one.
Yep. Alrighty, to the running back room, which is just a scary thought right now when it comes to fantasy relevance for the Indianapolis Colts. It really is getting hard to trust them in fantasy. Yeah. So Jonathan Taylor is consistently losing work to Jordan Wilkins and Nyheim Hines. And I do not see that changing for the rest of this year unless there's an injury. We don't want
Wilkins is the touch leader on that group, though, man.
He is.
I mean, he got 11. I mean, his yardage output was the same as Taylor. On twice as many touches, roughly.
Yeah.
So
I just don't want to trust. Like the only person that I might start in a flex role is a PPR league, and that would be Naheem Hines. Because it's truthfully, I just don't know if there's enough work for the both of Jonathan Taylor and Jordan Wilkins to be relevant in non-PPR leagues.
Yeah.
But to wide receivers, once again, it's a very muddled situation. But I do feel comfortable if T.Y. Hilton sits. I feel comfortable starting Michael Pittman as like a wide receiver 3 or a flex. He is getting healthier and healthier. He was the guy, Kyle, that had the compartment leg syndrome.
Yeah.
And his freaking calf was going to basically explode. So they had to have surgery to relieve that pressure. So
yeah, it's not compartment leg, it's compartment syndrome. It's where the fascia on the muscle is not releasing or allowing the muscle to like do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it's pretty gross. They have to cut the fascia open. Yeah.
So that sounds like fun, but his first, or not, I don't think it's his first game back, but last week he functioned as the wide receiver 1 against the Ravens, and he still put up a decent number of 7 targets, 4 catches, and 56 yards. So if you have to choose a wide receiver, I would choose Pittman, even if T.Y. comes back. And coming back from a groin injury for T.Y. Hilton at his age and these kind of nicks here or there, I would stay away from. Marcus Johnson had been a downfield threat, but I just don't think Rivers can get it done anymore downfield. Heck, they were supposed to be a Hail Mary play, and they brought Jacoby in, and then that was just a disaster because it was a disaster.
Because he held the ball too long or something and couldn't get out of the pocket, like every game last year.
Close. There was a delay of game because they couldn't get him on the field in time. And then whenever they did run the play, it was just like he just got bombarded and threw it in the ground. And it was, it was fun times. Great game.
Like you do.
Yeah. But my one true start, I would say, is Trey Burton. And it really has to do with Jack Doyle is in concussion protocol. They put him in there today, which is Monday. And that means he's not going to make that turnaround into Thursday. I just don't think you can clear concussion protocol. So, and with Mo Alley-Cox still hampering a knee injury, he's still playing, but he's not really being factored in the offense for receiving, just blocking. So I feel comfortable starting Trey Burton if you need to in this tight end world that we're in right now.
Sure. Yeah. This weird one. All right. So for Tennessee, I've got Ryan Tannehill as a possible start. This is not a great matchup, guys. Just generally across the board for the Titans, it's not a great matchup. I think that Tannehill, if you've got him, is probably somebody that you're leaning on a little bit, and I'm hopeful that you have another option in your on your roster to be able to start instead of him. Again, this is kind of a complicated week because there are some big names that are on buys, and so people might look in leagues that are pretty deep. Might be considering Ryan Tannehill as a fill-in. I would not necessarily want to use him as a fill-in this week, but if I'm in a super flex league or a 2 QB league, he's just fine. So that's where I would definitely fire him up. You're looking at a guy who's they're going to ask to be safe with the ball. He's going to be efficient. And so he's probably not going to hurt you, but he may not help you a lot. Derrick Henry.
We've seen Tannehill be very efficient with a really high touchdown percentage just this year. So this is definitely a possibility where he could throw the ball 25 times and get you 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like that's a high possibility.
I mean, that is entirely possible, but it's very unlikely. This is not a team that's giving up points to the QB. I mean, they just generally aren't. Derrick Henry, this is another really tough matchup actually. But you got to run your stud out there and hope that he gets you a solid performance. I just wouldn't expect him to win the week for you the way that he second half of last season took over. This second half this year, he's not going to start it out pretty nice for you guys here. Let's see here. Durant Evans obviously is a sit. I think he's still on IR if I remember correctly. He's not even on the consideration if he wasn't. AJ Brown is a start. The worst part of this defense in fantasy points allowed is to the wide receiver. It's still in the upper half of the league though. So even though it is the best part of this defense to attack, it's still one of the worst opportunities among the league to try to do so. But if there's anybody who could do it, it's going to be Megatron 2.0. This guy is a beast out there. And if Tannehill is being efficient with the ball and is taking calculated risks, if Derrick Henry gets moving and they're able to actually use play action, which is one of the more effective parts of that game, for the passing game for them, AJ Brown's going to beast on them, possibly. It is entirely possible. So that, I think, if you've got AJ Brown, you're going to put him out there. And I think that you've got a good chance of having a decent week. Don't expect to blow up. The last guy I want to talk about is Jono Smith. Indianapolis is the best in the league against the tight end. When you're looking at fantasy points allowed to the position, this is not a great week, obviously, right?
Right.
And you should look elsewhere if you can, but if you can't, which a lot of teams can't, but we did advise that at some point during this season, you needed to consider doubling up on QBs and tight ends so that you could play not necessarily matchups, but cover yourself in case there were forced bye weeks that occurred last minute or games got moved or canceled. And that way you're not fighting over getting a bottom rung QB or tight end.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got a second guy. If you don't, this is what you're stuck with. You've got a really bad matchup. And what you're hoping for right now is that Tennessee and Vrabel decide that let's use Jono Smith more as a wide receiver. Let's split him out a little bit further, get him off of the end of the line, and let's force those linebackers to either cover him and be doing so out of position, or let's get corners and safeties covering him and treat him like a wide receiver. And he's not going to get that separation, but he can definitely overpower corners and wide receivers in the passing game. And fight for contested balls that way. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've got. It's a really tough week. I think across the board, everybody's probably going to try to dodge the Thursday night game as much as they possibly can. I know that I will. I don't think I have anything in either of these rosters, actually, when I double check in our league. And that works for me. This is not a situation I want to be involved in this late in the season. Heading, we're heading into the final 4 weeks of the regular season. Is that right?
Yeah.
10, 11, 12, and 13, right? So this is your final quarter turn here, guys. And we're trying to get you into the playoffs and hopefully get you set up and in line for that Super Bowl championship push. Yeah. Playoffs. We're talking about practice. All right, guys. So hopefully that episode was not the worst. So if it wasn't, and you find yourself into it, kind of, you know what? Hashtag tell a friend. We're trying to spread awareness, spread the word, make sure that you let other people know about us. I know that we're your little secret that's helping you get there. All right. But if you're out, if you've been eliminated and it wasn't our fault, maybe you had Christian McCaffrey, Justin, and you're just kind of eliminated. Yeah. Justin. Then, hey, share our podcast with your friends. Let them know about us. Hopefully we can we can grow the channel a little bit. It would be nice to be able to do that and offer bigger and better things. We want to be able to have a draft kit set up next year, and we're going to start working on our website so that we can have that ready and running. And we're going to go through the off season. Probably we're going to have a much more limited schedule than 5 episodes a week, but we are still going to put stuff together and produce a bunch during the off season, and then once we get into the summer, we're right back into full on push.
Getting you ready for that draft, man. Getting ready for that draft day.
Our saying is win your draft to win your league. You can't do one if you didn't do the other. And so that's what we'd like to do. So share us with your friends. Make sure you subscribe as well as click the bell so you're notified every time that we upload the podcast. We thank you guys for being fans of The Upside, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See you guys.